So I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day. We were just on a phone call, just talking about random stuff, whatever. One of the topics that we discussed about was, just debating on going back to school and whatnot, and learning something or going to college, something like that. I think, honestly, for me personally, I'm just not interested in college. I was never interested in college to begin with. Even when I was younger, maybe middle school, early high school, freshman year, I kind of already had a feeling. It's like, I don't want to go to college, man. I just don't see any reasons for me to go to it. One of the main reasons why I never went to college too was, my quote-unquote dream jobs were to be a pro gamer or an esports player or a YouTuber or something of that sort. In my head, I was like, yeah, well, I don't really need to go to college because YouTubers don't really need college degrees to make YouTube videos and all that. Same thing with esports players. I felt like I wanted to do something else with my life, and YouTube was one of the things I wanted to do. I still want to do YouTube as a full-time job eventually. That's something I'm working towards. But yeah, either that or esports player or something along those lines. Of course, I have other dream jobs. Maybe doing motorsport, something like that. And I told my buddy this too because I never really told anybody about this. So we were kind of just talking about shit, and I mentioned to him I really don't see myself going to college and doing anything else, really. Not in a negative aspect, I don't think I have any purpose in life or anything like that. No, that's not the case. But I told him I just don't see myself really working anywhere else. I don't really want to work anywhere else in terms of careers. I don't really see myself as a mechanic or a doctor or an electrician of some sort. I really don't see myself doing it. I've talked about over the course of the years in my personal life, I talked about potentially going to learn a trade for auto mechanics or whatever. And I mentioned this to him, and he asked me, don't you like cars? Don't you want to learn about cars? And I told him, yeah, I don't mind learning about cars, but I don't see myself becoming a mechanic. But I'm not necessarily a gearhead in a sense that I want to learn how to work on cars. Sure, that's definitely a life skill I would like to have, but I don't see myself going into that work field as a mechanic or any of that sort. At least for right now, I'm not entirely sure. When it comes to stuff like that, I'd rather just learn the skills as a hobby, right? I rather just learn things and do them as hobbies. I personally don't think everything needs to be monetized. And I told him I've been doing YouTube for basically 10 fucking years now. I started this shit when I was 13 years old. I'm 23 now. I don't want to sound like this is all I know, right? But in terms of me putting a lot of time and effort into it, I feel like YouTube is mostly what I know. I know a lot of different things about YouTube. SEO rates, click-through rates, intention, all that, thumbnails. So I know how to do most of that, mainly just from years of just experience and trying and failing. I didn't really have to learn. I didn't have to spend a dime on all this stuff either, right? A lot of it was from just advice from other YouTubers who were probably bigger than me at trying different editing styles, seeing what sticks, what doesn't stick. I just feel like I have a lot more fun with things when I learn it as a hobby. When it comes to me and my YouTube brain, if I was to sit down and learn something mechanics, auto mechanics, I would look at that opportunity as okay, I know how to work on cars now, so I can probably make a car channel, talk about cars, work on cars, do vlogs or whatever, and use that knowledge that way, opposed to sitting down at a garage or a dealership working maintenance. I don't know. Something about me is I just like making content. It's something I just like doing. I would feel like I would have to try to find a way to make content out of it. With the way how a lot of the job market is right now, especially in the auto mechanics side of the jobs, there's just so many different problems with it. There's problems with every job. I basically just pick your poison and see which one you want to deal with. Mechanics have their own bullshit they gotta deal with. Unless I decide to be independent and do my own little mobile repair shop or whatever, I probably won't be making a lot of money. I definitely feel like with the way times are currently being, I think learning a trade is more important than going to college. I personally think when it comes to going to college and stuff, I just think it's pointless. We live in a day and age now where college degrees basically don't guarantee you jobs now. Honestly, we're living in an age now where people are looking for more experience. I definitely feel like college is definitely one of the bigger scams of modern times, in the sense that you're spending all your time, you're spending 4+ years, thousands and tens of thousands of dollars as college debt and college tuition. You're learning stuff that you can that's easily outdated. Not only is it outdated, but you can also outsource it for way cheaper or potentially free via watching YouTube or whatever. It used to be if you went to college, you were guaranteed the position that you were studying for. Nowadays, you can have a bachelor's degree and work at McDonald's. And honestly, the return on investment is really low, right? It's like, why would I spend all that time and energy for the next 4 years, 2 to 4 years of my life, stressed out because I got exams coming up, I gotta try to figure out how to balance work, school, YouTube, everything like that for potentially no reason. For me to basically be in a spot where I could have just went and worked, I could have stayed at Walmart for another 4 or 5 years, have 10 years of experience in retail, and I can go to anywhere in the retail world if I want to. That was my mindset leaving high school, was I see no reason for me to sit down and spend another 2 to 4 years on a pointless degree that I really don't give a shit about, learning things that I know I'm not going to be using in the outside world. I'd rather just go into the workforce and get experience and have a leg up against my other competitors. I'm not here to say that college is a complete scam, right? If you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a nurse, an engineer, of course, go to college, bro. Go do that. Go take your trade. Go to college. Go get your job that you want to do. I'm talking to everybody who really doesn't have a plan. And that's one of the things, too, I just noticed. It's like, I didn't really have a plan, to be honest. Like, when it came to high school, it's like, I want to do YouTube. I want to do esports, something like that. Other than that, I really don't have a plan. I'm kind of going with the wind. My job at Walmart was supposed to be a temporary job. It was supposed to be like a year or two, and then I go do YouTube, whatever it is, in my head, right? That would have been the perfect scenario. We work at Walmart for a year or two, blow up on YouTube, and then quit that job, and then pursue my YouTube career full time. Fast forward 5 years later, I'm still at Walmart. I'm nowhere close to being at my goal, right? I still got a long way to go, but I'm not worried about that. I rather just not. I just don't want to deal with it. I think that's just me. When it comes to college and stuff, not everybody's made for it. Not everybody is meant for schooling, and I wish people kind of got that through their heads. It's usually like the older generations and all that sit there and try to tell you that you need a college degree to succeed in life, or you won't get that nice paying job if you don't have a college degree, or you'll be a bum if you don't have a college degree. But reality, it's just like we're gonna be perfectly fine without a degree. I think that says more about the job market than me going to college, right? If the fact that somebody who went to college 8 years, right, have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree in whatever field that they're studying in, and they aren't working in that same field that they're studying in, is that really on them, or is that just the system? Not to mention, there's a lot of degrees out here and courses that are just so unnecessary, and it's just wasting people's time and money on things like gender studies. There's no reason for you to sit down and learn that. You're spending 4 years to learn about that, really? Out of hundreds of courses that could have altered your life, could have been a doctor, a nurse, a lawyer. You decide to spend 4 years of your life, potentially thousands of dollars of debt, just to learn gender studies. And they wonder why they can't get a good paying job because your degree is basically pointless. You went and spent 4 years learning basically nothing. A lot of colleges nowadays, there's just so many different, there's like an inflation of courses and people graduating with bullshit degrees. It's oversaturated, and I think honestly, you're probably better off just getting a trade and going down that route than spending 4 years of your life, 4 to 8 years of your life, buying a bunch of tuition and fees and all that just for outdated information, when you can just go learn a trade like mechanics or electricians or plumbing or do construction, and you immediately see way more value in your work. But that's just me. I just think college is a giant waste of time, and I think I could put that time and energy into other things that I can see instant results from, opposed to spending 4 to 8 years of my life hoping that I can make something out of it. That's not me. Anyway, that's it for me. Leave a like and subscribe. Follow me on all my socials at JustYex. Follow my Redbubble account if you guys want some cool anime stuff on there. I know I've been kind of inconsistent with my uploads, bro. I don't know when this is gonna get fixed. Trust me, every time I try and get home after work, I try and sit down and make videos, but I'm so tired. Yeah, I'm trying to get more videos out as fast as possible. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe. Anyway, my name's Yex, and I'll see you guys around.
Through this door.